Hey, what's going on everyone? I'm the OPJellicent and we are team building for week number 9 in the GBA D League, up against Gregulator and his Los Angeles Clefable. Neither of us are really too stressed out about this game. I'm trying to focus on a different match, which is my ICBA conference final match, which you will see on Monday. Team builder for that will be up tomorrow, but yeah, Greg's just trying to get this game done too, but we're still going to try to have some fun. I'm bringing a really offensive team, as you guys will see, and we're just trying to go ahead and use a set that I actually brought last week too, that we didn't get to do much work last week, but you'll see what that is when I go over my 6 Pokemon. But you can see Greg's roster over on the right of your screen. We'll go through his 11 Pokemon, and we'll go through my 6 Pokemon one by one, and get my thoughts on the matchup as a whole. It does have a Tapu Koko, which last time I faced a Koko did not go so well, but let's go ahead and get started with Greg's roster. Okay, so the first Pokemon Greg has right here, as I mentioned before, is that Tapu Koko, which is a giant problem. You guys remember, if you haven't followed my ICBA run, pretty much when I faced Tapu Koko in week number 7, I pretty much just got blown back by it, but I think this time we have the correct precautions to take that thing on. Got some nice resist berries in our team. I think a really good set against me, it is one of his Z move users, would be like Z Dazzling Gleam with Calm Mind. Another one would be like Scarf with U-Turn, HP Ice, that kind of thing, just so he doesn't have to risk speed ties with Crobat, because I am bringing max speed Crobat this week, just to attempt a speed tie versus that. And that could also help him outspeed my Selgor, because Scarf Selgor wouldn't really be very likely, so Scarf Koko could be a really reliable way to outspeed my entire roster. Other than that, it's kind of annoying to Mega Pinsir, since it can take quick attacks and all that, of course, but he has to pretty much run U-Turn, because I have Landorus Incarnate, which is the one good thing that I have going for me with that Pokemon. Another thing is I think he has to run Fairy MZ to break through my Lati, because if I am running like a Spidef Lati, or like some sort of Calm Mind set, he has to pretty much run like Dazzling Gleam with the Z move to blow through that. So hopefully he brings that set, because that way we can potentially win a speed tie with Crobat. But yeah, other than that, just a really giant problematic Pokemon right there. He has the Greninja next, which also outspeeds pretty much my entire roster except for those 2 Pokemon as well, the Crobat and the Selgor. And I think like a Life Orb or Expert Belt variant could make a lot of sense. A Life Orb variant with like Gunk Shot, Water Shuriken, Dark Pulse, and maybe Ice Beam actually does quite a bit of work versus my team. He could fit U-Turn on there just because like a Registeel could definitely switch into that. Maybe Low Kick too, but I have run Chopple counter Registeel a few times early in the season, so he might be expecting that to come back this week. But yeah, overall Greninja, just got to predict around it, and I think we should be fine. He has the Mega Scissor right here, which Mega Scissor isn't too big of a threat. Like, we can pack Fire type moves on quite a bit of our Pokemon, Manaphy at plus 30. It will also outspeed that thing. We can pack HP Fire on Lati, and I really think that might deter him from bringing Mega Scissor. Obviously, the standard HP Fires are not going to OHKO Mega Scissor. That thing has ridiculous bulk, but we do have some boosting moves in our Pokemon. Can also switch into Mega Pinsir if he runs like a really defensive variant, but he also has the Gliscor right here, really weak to a lot of my team. Mega Pinsir at plus 2, Manaphy with water type moves, Latias with Ice Beam, but it can take on some other stuff like Xurkitree if I don't carry HP Ice, can take on Florges whether I go with the physical or special set, as well as Pyroar, and it is also a Defogger in case he's expecting the webs to come, but Gliscor is not really too much of a problem. I don't see the SD set coming, and he would have to run a really fast set if he wants to outspeed like Modest Manaphy anyway, so that's kind of the whole thing with the Gliscor right there. Don't really see it as being too much of an issue. We can run Lock Off on Lando too, to potentially even knock off the Toxicor before he gets that to activate, which would be really cool. Next he has the Goodra, which he picked up in Free Agent a few weeks ago. Really threatened by stuff like Manaphy at plus 3, Latias with Dragon types attacks, as well as Mega Pinsir by just clicking Return. So that's definitely a very cool option right there. I don't think he'll be in Goodra. It's pretty much, I don't really have any special attackers that it wants to switch into besides Xurkitree, and Xurkitree he should know is not coming anyway, so that's kind of the whole idea with Goodra right there. Blown back by Mega Pinsir, Landorus, Psy, all of that stuff. I kind of hope he doesn't bring it though, because it kind of takes on Crobat. I am bringing Nasty Plot Crobat this week for the first time, so hopefully that can work out. Next up here he has the Seismitoad, which Seismitoad kind of the same thing as a Goodra. It's blown back by a lot of my Pokemon. Latias gets access to Energy Bell, I think. Manaphy gets access to Energy Bell and the meme HP Grass. Mega Pinsir gets access to Quick Attack and Return mainly, not Quick Attack. And we can pretty much just slap Grass covers in a lot of our team and take that thing on. It is a good stealth record though, and it could be like some sort of niche Rain Dance plus Swift Swim set as some sort of late game cleaner. Could see that kind of working out against my roster, but as long as we have some grass coverage, as well as like a bulky Manaphy, you can take that on. He has the Mienshao right here, which could be a Choice Scarf set. It's outsped by the Pokemon that I Choice Scarf a lot, which is Latias, so maybe that'll deter him from bringing that. And it is also threatened by Mega Pinsir's quick attacks, so that's kind of reasons he would not bring me in. Also, Fizzed Up Floor just could take it on. Same thing with Chop will counter Registeel. If he's really expecting that to come again, that could definitely take it on too. So I really am not expecting Mienshao, not too worried about that. He has the Yanmega, nice Yanmegulator right there, which is I believe what he names it, and it could be like the speed boosting variant with just a few attacks. Kind of a threatening Pokemon actually, with if it runs like something like Giga Drain, Bug Buzz, and HP Ice, or even HP Rock for Land Mega Pinsir, could definitely be a problematic Pokemon, but like I said, Quick Attack is right there to threaten that out. Scarflati outspeeds it even after a speed boost, which is cool too, so really not too worried about Yanmega. Musharna is right there, which is a second Z-move user. Could see some sort of like maybe Calm Mind stored power set coming, or maybe like a spec set. It actually has decent special attack when I was looking at it when prepping, so that's kind of a problematic Pokemon, but we can take it on. Then he has the Quilladin right here, which I have to check whether Quilladin's actually fighting type. I'm pretty sure all it does actually is just get up spikes and stuff. It's threatened by my entire roster. I know Quilladin isn't coming. Mega Pinsir, Lati, Manaphy, Landowai with a Flying Stab all blows that Pokemon back, as well as Crobat, so not expecting Quilladin. And then finally Heatran, which is he also picked up in free agency a few weeks ago, and basically Heatran can run like a pretty Spidef set can help take on stuff like my Latias, as well as a potential special Crobat, and even my Florges and Circuitry. So that's kind of what I'm expecting with Heatran right there. You'll see that I actually have a really fun set that can hopefully knock out Heatran this week, but yeah, that's going to be Greg's roster, and let's go ahead and get into my 6 Pokemon. Okay, so the first Pokemon that I have right here is Sealedy Manaphy, which is running a pretty basic set, really pretty much max special attack, enough speed to outspeed like offensive Gliscor. He has no reason to go max speed, but in case he wants to try to speed tie like Modest Manaphy or something like that, I figured I would just go with this set to make sure that I outspeed it no matter what. And yeah, other than that, just Wakan Berry to lure the Tapu Koko, because what I'm hoping happens here is I bring it out on something like Gliscor, he tries to sack off a Pokemon as a Tail Glow, we get that kill with either Surf Energy Ball, whatever he brings in, and then he tries to bring out Koko to revenge kill me, and we hit up that Wakan Berry and knock that out too. We've had a few scenarios like that happen this season with the Rindo Berry, such as against Goldoa and Deebs, both matches we probably should have won, but hopefully this can work out better right now. And yeah, other than that, pretty basic set with like Energy Ball coverage just to pretty much break through stuff like Seismitoad, and then we have Hidden Power Fire for Mega Scizor, of course. So the one thing that we don't really hit is the Goodra, so we kind of have to weaken that, but we have ways to break through Goodra with this team, and really I'm just trying to get that Wakan Berry alert to work out against Tapu Koko, so hopefully that can work out. And let's go ahead and move on to our second Pokemon. Okay, second mon we have right here is Assess the Threat, our Mega Pinsir, which is running an SD3 attacks variant. You might kind of find it confusing that I'm going with max speed, just a speed tie with the Mienshao. One quick attack would blow that back anyway. I'm actually pretty sure it OHKOs. I think he might run Koba Berry, and that could definitely take the quick attack and then knock me out with like a Rock Slide or like Hidden Power Rock if he goes with a special variant, but after a Swords Dance we knock that out anyway. And this is also my best way of trying to knock out Goodra to help out our Manaphy, because pretty much once I knock out the Goodra, we can get in Manaphy, Tail Glow, and have that scenario happens where he tries to knock me out with Koko, and we can potentially knock him out with like a +3 Surf after eating the Quan Berry, so that's looking pretty good for us. And then other than that, just Earthquake right there to hit the Heatran. Close Combat could have been great too, but it's just worse against other stuff like, for example, the Gliscor. I guess Earthquake isn't hitting that either, but I really don't see myself clicking Earthquake unless it's against Heatran anyway, because Return hits everything else. I guess Earthquake also hits the Tapu Koko if we do want to predict that switch in, but he would never go hard Tapu Koko into that big of a threat against the squad that I'm bringing specifically. So yeah, that's our Mega Pinsir right here, and let's go ahead and move on to a Pokemon that I'm actually really excited to use this week. This is the Pokemon that I said I brought last week to try to do some work, and it did not do as much as I wanted, but let's go ahead and show that off. Okay, and that Pokemon that I was talking about is actually our Choice Specs Florges right here. The big thing that I want to do in this game is knock out Heatran with Specs Modest HP Ground from Rose right here. I really want to have that scenario happen. That would be so funny, but other than that, we just have Moonblast, which is pretty much everything else. We don't really hit Mega Scizor at all, but I hope he goes out into Heatran instead, just because he could go Mega Scizor, but he's not really sure what set I could run. That could be Berry, and I think he would want to go Heatran to get up rocks for a lot of the other Pokemon in my team, so that's why I have Hidden Power Ground. And if we could knock out Heatran with Hidden Power Ground with the Choice Specs, I'll be pretty happy with this game right here. And other than that, just Heal Bell in case he wants to try to spread Stratus across my team. I believe he has a couple T-Wave Mons. I think Musharna gets it. Tapu Koko does get it too, I think, and he does have T-Specs potential on Greninja too, so definitely a niche way of getting rid of all those poisons right here, but because I don't actually have Hazard Control, so hopefully this can work out right here. Not running Defog because I'm trying to hazard stack on my own this time, so that's pretty much cool. And then we have Giga Drain for the Seismitoad right there. So pretty basic set. Hidden Power Ground through the Tran, and then click Moonblast on the rest. Hope that doesn't bring in Mega Scizor. Although after I reveal Hidden Power Ground, obviously, he will bring in Scizor every time because he knows I don't have Hidden Power Fire. But let's go ahead and move on to our next Pokemon. Okay, fourth mon we got right here is Melonhead, our Selgor, which we're bringing for the first time since week number 5 against Zazo, Iron Flash Gaming. Finally nicknamed it. I don't know why. I looked at its head and it just reminded me of a watermelon, so that's why we have the nickname right there. Really basic set, pretty much just hazard stack with some coverage right here. HP Fire for the Mega Scizor, enough speed to outspeed the Tapu Koko, sorry, and then we have max HP on there just to make sure that our final Gambit, which if we do resort to that, can do as much damage as we want it to. Sludge Bomb actually knocks out Tapu Koko after some hazards, which is cool if we do want to chip that thing down. And other than that, not really much else to say here. I actually don't have Unburden on this set. I don't know why. I'll go ahead and change that on the team for Wi-Fi, but yeah, I'll go ahead and put that as Unburden. But really basic set right here. Pretty much just spikes and then final Gambit out. If he leads off with Goodra, I'm just going to final Gambit right away because I need that thing gone for Manaphy, so that's definitely going to be a big factor in this game. Let's go ahead and move on to our second to last Pokemon. Okay, second to last Pokemon we have right here is Savvy, our Crobat, which is running a Black Sludge set with the Nasty Plot. I did want to bring special Nasty Plot Crobat at least once this season, and I did feel as though this was an alright opportunity. Just pretty much max speed Timid to make sure that we can speed Tapu Koko. This is the reason I said he might go Scarf, just because it can obviously take any sort of Sludge Bomb. Well, it doesn't take Sludge Bomb, but it will outspeed me, of course, and pretty much just knock me out. So that can definitely be kind of frustrating. We do have Infiltrator, so we can go through any sort of substitute he wants. So if he runs like Sub Swords Dance Mega Scizor, we can take a Bullet Punch with 4 defense investment and then Hidden Power Fire that thing through the sub and knock it out. But really, this thing is going to try to be like a late game cleaner. Got to scout for what a Scarfer is, and then Nasty Plot and try to win pretty much. So hopefully that can work out. And other than that, not really much else to say right here. Air Slash for good stab. This can actually be something that can lure Goodra. If he does see me Nasty Plot, he might go immediately into the Goodra. And even if it is Assault Blast, we're going good damage, and we can put that thing in range of our Manaphy, which can definitely help us out. But yeah, that's our Savvy, our Crobat right here. Let's go ahead and move on to our final Pokemon, which is also a setup Pokemon, our Landorus Incarnate. And our final Pokemon right here is Ryan, our Earthplate Landorus, which kind of a similar set to what Deebs brought with his Landorus T against me last week, except we don't actually have the Z move, so we have to go with a Rock Polish Stealth Rock right here with the Earth Plate. And yeah, pretty much just Rock Polish Stealth Rock, 2 attacks right here. Hidden Power Fire does do a really good amount to the Mega Scizor, which is really cool. And then Earthquake is just really spammed through the rest of his team. I actually think it hits everything else. The one thing that I'm not expecting to come is Quilladin, which could definitely kind of take me on if it's like an Eviolite set, but after a Rock Polish, if we can weaken some things and get rid of like Gliscor, and we have this thing at a good amount of health, we can definitely try to sweep through his team. He does have Water Shuriken Pressure from Greninja, obviously, but we do just have to be careful about that. Enough speed on here to, I believe, outspeed the Gliscor. Max speed Gliscor no matter what, of course, similar to our Manaphy speed tier. And yeah, that's going to be our team this week. We're just trying to sweep at something, get up those hazards, get rid of Goodra, and maybe have that Manaphy tech work out. And yeah, let me know whether you guys would have built something differently, and do you think we're going to win, of course. And hope you guys all tune in for the match going live tomorrow at noon Eastern. Later.